Welcome to Sports God TV, where we talk sports like religion. You already know who it is. It's your boy Octane. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like, share the content, jump in the content. Let's get a dialogue. Let's get it cracking. Man, oh man. This is my Wildcard weekend recap, and also I'm going to go ahead and dive into the divisional round of this weekend playoff action. Now, your boy went 2-2 this past weekend. You know what I'm saying? With some shockers, man. Definitely some games that I'm sure a lot of people had gotten wrong, whether it was in Vegas or just your own personal beliefs on who you thought was going to advance. Okay, so with that being said, let me hit you with my boy, was I wrong segment, okay? And the Titans and Patriots. Now, I did say that it was going to be a tight game. I thought Tennessee defense was stingy, but they just offense wasn't going to be able to do it. And boy, was I wrong, because they controlled that game. I mean, with the defense, you never seen Belichick and them being in the wild card in a long time, I believe since 2009. So we didn't know how they really was going to adjust, but they still was in Foxborough, where they're pretty much unbeatable when they're in the playoffs, or even in the regular season for that matter. But the Tennessee Titans took it to them on offense, man. That offensive line, and Derrick Henry, the former Alabama Crimson Tide star, ran rambunctiously against the Patriots, man. Stuffed it down their throat like a Thanksgiving turkey. And Tennessee, man, stole that victory up in New England, and now the defending champions are no longer in the playoffs. The Vikings versus the Saints. Now, the Vikings are a pretty good team, and especially since the wide receivers called out Kirk Cousins, they have been on a roll. But in the Dome in New Orleans, Drew Brees, the spotlight's on him. I just knew that the Saints were going to take that win at home. I thought it'd be a tight game, because mostly playoff games be pretty tight. But the Minnesota Vikings and Kirk Cousins got his first playoff victory as a quarterback in the National Football League, and he showed a big questionable call at the end of the game. Rudolph looked like he extended his hand, but they were pretty much pity-patting all the way until the end of that play. It's just Rudolph got the best of them, and the Vikings advanced. Now, in the games that I picked right, obviously the Bills lost to the Texans. My boy Deshaun Watson and company took care of business. Watson drove them down in the final minutes in OT, and not the final minutes, but in OT, and you know, they were able to kick a field goal to win that game. And then the Seahawks, you know, minus the Eagles having Carson Wentz, who went down early in that game, but I still believe, whether he was there or not, that the Seattle Seahawks would take that. It was good to see my man Marshawn Lynch get into the end zone. Hey man, one of the most savage 8-yard runs, 6-yard runs that were. He was stuffed in the backfield, and he did his Marshawn Lynch thing and finally got up into the end zone. Now, here we go with the divisional round of the playoffs. We got 2 games slated for today. We got a 4:35 contest on NBC, and then we got 8:15 contest, the late game at 8:15. That's today. And then Sunday, we also got a 3:05 game on CBS, and then we got a 6:40 game on Fox. Now, let's start with today's action. We got the Minnesota Vikings versus the number 1 seed, in the San Francisco 49ers. Where's my upset alert siren? Because here goes my upset pick of the weekend. I have the Minnesota Vikings coming in San Francisco and actually still in that game. I believe it's going to be a defensive battle game. They're pretty even in the sense. I just think with Stephon Diggs and if Thielen is healthy, you got Rudolph and you got Dalvin Cook, and if Kirk Cousins, if Captain Kirk can stay poised, doesn't turn the football over, and do what he does, I think the Minnesota Vikings have a legitimate shot of upsetting the #1 seed San Francisco 49ers. So with that being said, I'm going to roll with the Minnesota Vikings over San Francisco 49ers. Next, we got the Titans and the Ravens. Another thing to point out, the passing teams of the playoffs so far have lost. You know, all the run-heavy teams are in the playoffs and have advanced so far in the playoffs. And this is a run-heavy game between the Titans versus the Ravens. Two great defenses. We got the MVP of Lamar Jackson for sure leading the way for the Ravens. I believe it's going to be a very, very tight game. Tennessee only shot is to have ball control, run heavy. Mr. Henry going to have to be at his best. And Tannehill going to have to convert on third down when those third downs present itself. Other than that, let's see if they can stop Harbaugh and Lamar Jackson and Mark Ingram and company, man, with all they bring to the table. Having that week off, would it help them or would it hurt them? We will soon find out, but I'm going to roll with the Baltimore Ravens to advance to the AFC Championship game. Now, with that being said, we got the following games on Sunday. We got the Texans at the Chiefs. I'm going to roll with Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs at home. I think they're going to also win that game. I believe it's going to be a nice game, tight game. Maybe if Mahomes get on the road, you know how that can go. So I'm going to roll with the Chiefs. And then last but not least, we got the Seahawks and the Packers. Where's my upset siren? Okay, so with that being said, I have another upset pick. Yes, the Green Bay Packers are 13-3 and they are at Lambeau Field. But if anybody can come up into Lambeau Field and beat Aaron Rodgers, it is Russell Wilson. I think that the Seattle Seahawks need to apply plenty of pressure on Aaron Rodgers, though he is mobile, but he is not Aaron Rodgers of old when it comes to his mobility, but he has enough to make things happen. But if Clowney and Wagner and them boys can get after Aaron Rodgers and cause problems, I think that they can steal that game in Lambeau Field. I don't think Green Bay is as good as their record is, but hey, they are who they are. But anyway, I'm going to roll with the Seattle Seahawks over the Packers. That's going to wrap up my divisional round playoff weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed your weekend, your work week. And I hope you guys enjoy your weekend. Man, hit that like and subscribe button. Share the content. Jump in the comments. It's your boy, Octane, Sports God TV, where we talk sports like religion. And I'm out. Octane! From the bottom to the top, they act like they